Hey everybody, how you doing? This is FYS, and we are in week number 6, which is the third module, and we are in our last of the yellow here. You have two things loaded up for week 6, and if we go ahead and open that up, you can see here we have the FOCUS2 leisure assessment, and then the post and response, which is kind of like an evaluation of your results from the FOCUS2 regarding leisure. And what I'm after on this is sometimes, like when you look at people say, go with your passion, go with what you enjoy. Yeah, I happen to be a person that does fitness. I do personal training. I teach kinesiology. I really enjoy the exercise sciences. And as a result, even in my leisure time, I enjoy like watching Science Channel and stuff like that. I like some other mindless stuff as well, like watching football and different sporting events on TV. But here's the thing, what I really want you to kind of evaluate is this: is there too much of a good thing? So for some of you, say if you're going to be a surgical assistant and you're in the ER, you can't really take that home with you, but you might still be operating in a particular pillar, right? And that kind of science pillar. If you're somebody who's an accountant, that's more likely where you're going to take your work home with you, but you're going to be doing more like math related stuff. So what I'm kind of after with this is take your results from a leisure assessment and really evaluate, did those results provide a career for you that aligns with what you enjoy? And the reason why I'm kind of asking you to differentiate this is because sometimes there is a little too much of a good thing, right? Sometimes you look at it and you go, I just got to shut it off and I got to go do something else. I got to go watch a little HGTV or something just to kind of get your mind out of whatever it is you're doing and turn that switch and turn it off. So with that, I'm going to jump into the FOCUS2 here. And if you pause this for 1 second, let me scroll up here. And we go into the student portal. And in the student portal, you go to advising and counseling, which you already know from doing this before. You have the FOCUS2 is right here. You open that bad boy up. And what you'll see is when you scroll down, if I get myself out of the way, we're into leisure assessment. I completed this earlier today as a result of this assignment. Let's go ahead and start this over. And you'll have six questions on several different pages. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this after I do this. But, like it's a Likert scale, right? From 1 to 5. It's almost like you're doing a review on Amazon Prime, right? So I like really participating in these events. I like this, I like this, I like this. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this out. I'm going to put this on pause for 1 second. So hold on. All right, so I put my finger here, so it looks like I paused it right here, but I didn't actually. I went ahead and I did the 5 or 6 pages of questions, and it becomes very apparent as you're doing the questions. You can kind of get an idea of the things you're picking out that are of interest. Do you enjoy fundraising? Do you enjoy working with kids, volunteering your time? Do you like the more financial side? Do you like building things, working in your garden, working on your home projects, arts kind of stuff? Do you enjoy going to museums, etc.? And it coughs up these results. So this, I'm RIA. So I am reality, inquiring, and aesthetic. Okay. So with this, the reality moniker are the doers, inquiring, the thinkers, aesthetic, the creators. So as you do this and scroll down, look at these results, right? And take a look. And for me, I have RIA, excuse me. And I'm pretty darn high in the reality, just trying to keep it real. So with that, you look at this and go, okay, I prefer things that are more hands-on and have to do with the physical world. I know this because of my profession and coaching athletes to make them better athletes. I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy working on things around the house. This does kind of typify me. And as a coach, I have to have that constant critical feedback, and it has to be presented and bundled in a certain way to get a response out of people as I'm coaching them. So yeah, that's spot on. So, and this is true too. I am kind of rational. I'm methodical. And I will kind of hold back and evaluate first and then comment afterwards. This is right in line. And then with the aesthetic here, the creators. Yeah, I do like creating stuff, and even in my presentations and working with my classes, I like coming up with different creative ways to deliver content. And part of that, while it's not painting, sculpting, or playing a musical instrument, it does align where I'm taking something like Blackboard and trying to jam what's going on up in my head into the Blackboard portal, if you will, and trying to like bend it to my will to get like the message across that I'm trying to deliver as an instructor. So what's interesting about that is, and this is kind of an interesting thing that comes up about the unstructured environment, where part of my background with coaching and so, I use software applications, and I normally will take a software application. I gravitate towards like one of them I use is Team Builder, and it's basically a blank slate, and I can program in my own reps, my own sets. I can kind of bastardize that to my own will and make that program do what I want it to do. And so you're like, I'm sure some of you, this might resonate in terms of like coding and programming, where you take this kind of blank tapestry out in front of you and you can just take whatever's in your head and create. And there's something very cathartic about that for me, and I'm sure it is for many of you. Now, as you look at this and you kind of go a little bit further on, and this is definitely true too, while I do have this cautious, rational approach, I have this other side of me that's like wickedly creative, and I do different stuff, and I definitely am unconventional in some ways as well. So as you look at this, notice how the coloration and the codifying changes, and that aligns with your graph up top. So for me, I don't share very well, obviously, so let's see what that one is. I enjoy helping and advising people. Okay, that might be a misnomer, because when I coach people, I'm advising people all the time. About other people's welfare. I think if they presented this in a different way, where they talked about you're working with athletes or you have clients, because that'd be more specific to me. But the other questions that they ask in here are specific to: do you enjoy doing charity work? Do you enjoy working with youth? Do you enjoy working with the elderly and volunteering your time? I hate to say it, as a profession, I have to earn income, and my profession is specifically, I help and advise others, but I do it for a fee. So had these questions been written differently, sharing and being a helper probably would have been further up in the top three, no doubt. But it's just the way they wrote the questions. So there's a little bit of bias with this. Because yes, as a coach and somebody who works with clients in a training environment, I absolutely help and advise people. I am definitely concerned about other people's welfare. Oh my God, totally. And I build these relationships between people. I am a very, very classic. If you read any Gladwell, I'm a connector. I love finding out, like when I'm working with a client, what they do, what their business is, and perhaps they have some business that is a plastic extruder company, and somebody else has a solvent that's used in that type of business. I'll connect those people. I have benefited from that as a business model, where I've connected people just in terms of business and relationships, where I've benefited financially from connecting those people by getting in the middle of that relationship, but also I've been benefited in a more kind of benign way, where I have a retention model where my clients stay with me longer because I'm able to connect them with other people through my network, of which I have a ton of people in my network. So I would have to say that if these questions were asked in a different way, in a different manner, I probably would see this as number one, no doubt. Okay. Um, and gosh darn it, I am pretty warm and cooperative. I don't know. So I think this will be further up in the equation. So as you go through this and you get into this, what I'm looking for you to do is take your, there we go, and update that. Take your occupations, update it financially. And I look for you to do this just to kind of stratify. Okay, like marine engineer, no. Marine surveyor, no. Solar energy, meh. Look at what's here and see if your profession, your chosen profession, aligns with any of this. For me, not so much, but I'm okay with that, because like I mentioned, I tend to operate in this kind of physical realm, working with clients, being very hands-on. It sounds like, okay, you're counting reps and et cetera, but if you do it correctly and you do the relationship building correctly, it's a pretty intense environment in terms of working with your clients and kind of motivating them and hit the leverage just right. And I have to admit, while I look at this and I pose this question in the post and response, do you think too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing? So I ask you to really think about that as you look at this in terms of leisure. This particular assessment might not align with your current career goals, just simply because you might find more satisfaction in doing art, etc., with your hands and painting, or doing some type of, like, I don't know, project around your house, but you really enjoy coding and programming. So philosophically, just take a moment. If you enjoy fixing and working on your home and perhaps working on things around the house, is that so different than fixing perhaps errant code? Is that so different than actually evaluating a situation and making a change to make something better? It's just a different medium. So kind of be critical of yourself in this. Think this through in terms of what actually drives you when you look at your profession and your leisure activities. So guys, with that, I'm going to sign off. I hope you have a great week. Get everything done. I urge you to make sure you stay in touch with your professors and other instructors to make sure you're on track and don't lose track, if you will, during a semester. And be on the lookout for next week's assignments on Monday. Have a great one, guys. Signing off.